Hey, welcome back to Culp's Distraction Depot. On this episode, I thought it'd be neat to go through the history of the green truck from when I bought it in 2017 to when I ultimately sold it in 19, and then when I purchased it back years later down the road to where it is now. It's a fun story. I had a big pipe dreams for this truck, and it's finally now getting closer to where I've always wanted the truck to be. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of video. I've got a ton of pictures. I've got a pile of pictures of the process from start to finish, and I'll just do a voiceover and try to explain everything, keep it as interesting as possible. But yeah, so just hang with me. It should be a pretty good time. It's a pretty interesting story if you like these old trucks, and yeah, let's go. So this is my first look at the truck. It was at a guy named Eric's house. He's got a whole pile of old Fords, and this was it. And what this right here is what sold me on the truck. I didn't understand how common these were, but this toolbox blew me away. This is a truck back at the house. It was filthy. It was an old Escort service truck. It had a weird bumper on it. Had this thing on the front of it to carry a sign, I guess a overload sign. And the truck was filthy. Just it sat for years and years. I later figured out why it sat for years, and you'll see. Here it is getting his first bath, getting him cleaned up. Shiny, looked pretty good. Truck didn't look bad. I was pretty excited about it. I had always had plans to lower the truck. I wanted to lower the truck the whole time and make a kind of a hot rod. At this point, I was wanting to tow a camper. The camper that I have now. Here's the interior. You know, good, not great. It is XLT Ranger. It's a Ranger. Had original air and everything on it. Let's see. It had a 390 in it. It was a legit 390 4-barrel. Tearing the interior out, going through the carpet and everything. I liked the green carpet, and I found the floorboards were shot. I'd never done floorboard repair. I knew how to weld, but I went and bought a welder specifically for this. I was pretty excited. Now here's the engine. This is the 390. It was just full of water and rust. It was trashed. I may have to move some of these pictures around. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. I did get that 390 running, but I mean, it was terrible. And that's why one of the wrist pins, the keeper came loose, or they didn't put it in when they rebuilt the engine, and it just machined the sidewall, that groove. That wrist pin just dug a hole in it. So that didn't work. So now I said, well, pull the engine. Let me move back to the floors here. I cut the floors out, and I thought I did a really good job repairing these floors, and it turns out that it was a fair job, and the job's still fair. Now I fully welded it, I seam sealed everything, and then I came back with Pour 15 and painted it, and I was really proud of what I did. But now looking back, I more or less just set the pan on top of the metal, so there's a little bit of overlap and gap, but it's not perfect. But at the time, I really thought I was doing something, and you know, it's the best I could do, and it's pretty good. It's not terrible. Cleaned it up, made it nice. Let's see. Just more shots of the interior. I should probably look at this before. Okay, now I got this 390 from a guy at work. Took it to a machine shop there in Carruthersville. They did a terrible job. This got a fast EFI on it, easy EFI. I tossed it in there. I had the truck running. I drove it with this 390 for a little while. I did not check any bearing clearances. I didn't check anything. I just tossed this thing together with the 390. And I didn't drive it very much. I just drove it a little bit. It was interesting. The truck did pretty good with the 390 in it. That easy EFI, I really liked it. It fired right up, ran good, broke in the cam. But ultimately, it spun a rod bearing. This becomes a history with this truck, is spinning rod bearings, as you'll see. So I was pretty happy with it. I ran all that exhaust. I liked it. 2-chamber Flowmasters. Here's the truck on a flat tire. I don't know why that's in there, but there it is. Now, I'm going back to this look. This is the original setup, the factory suspension. I do kind of dig that now. I like the lowered look, but the stance that it has right now is not my favorite. I don't know why that picture's in there. But there it is at Walmart. Now, here's the original seat. And I was doing this a little bit at a time. I get in a hurry and want to drive stuff. Here I'm seam sealing, and then I'm putting down sound deadener. I get in a hurry where I just want to rush and drive this thing. But if I can drive it and then work on it at the same time, that's the ultimate goal. I think at this point the engine was still in it, but I put all the sound deadener in it. And this was actually it's not actual sound deadener, it's the peel and seal from Lowe's or something. I've not had any issues with it. Some people say it stinks. Hey, Fry's Upholstery out of Swifton, Arkansas did that seat, and it was incredible. It looked so good, felt it really nice. That's the original seat. They just recovered it, repainted the frame, put springs in it. They went through the whole setup, made it super nice. There it is in the truck, looking sharp. Yeah, that was a comfortable seat too. There's my little begonia pot pie. She's pretending to drive it. Now I think this is the rod bearing. I sent this video to a buddy and he said, "Oh, doesn't sound good. Sounds like a classic Culp rebuild right there," and it was. Okay, here's where the story gets really good. This is a 351 Winsler that I got from a guy. Truck had over 200,000 miles, and it actually looked good. The engine ran. I heard it run, and it was a running, driving engine that worked until I got my hands on it, and yeah. So I put it in the back of the Civic, drove it up to, where was it at? Cape Girardeau. Awesome machine shop up there. Incredible guys. Very nice work. So while the engine's getting worked on, I'm starting to put the lowering kit on it. I liked it. I like the way it looks. It's good there. The back end's nice. Maybe I got the drop beams on it. I got the DJM drop beams. Now here's the engine back. Putting the rings in it. File fitting the rings. Got him all painted up. Looking sharp. Let's see. This is just mocking up, playing with it. And I think I did Performer RPM, and those are RHS heads. Flow cooler water pump. Fast distributor. I mean, this thing had a pretty substantial amount of money in it for what it was. It should have been 350, 400 horse. I don't know. Something like that. But here it is going in the truck. It's looking good. Sitting nice. I did all this out in my driveway, too. Everything I was building back then was in my driveway. I had plans to put air conditioner on it. Look at this massive radiator. That's the radiator that's on the truck now. I think it's a Champion radiator. That dude's happy. That's a big old radiator. That's going to cool that truck. Here it is. 3G alternator. With the old 351 Windsor valve covers. It's coming together. Starting to look good. Let's see. Interior. I think that's about as far as I got with the interior this run. There's the truck backed out. That's what my garage looked like after the building process. And here she is running. First trip to the junkyard is always the junkyard. Get rid of everything. Had a small cam in it. Sounded really nice. most everything working on the truck. The truck never had any oil pressure. And I think it's because I flooded it. I really think that I damaged the engine the very first time I started it. But, so it wasn't long after this. Here's another, I don't know what's going on here, just a video of it idling. Truck's looking good. Tires, the tires kicked out there, driving me nuts. I'm still dealing with that a little bit. These dumb twin I-beam suspensions. So I was on my way home from work one day. I stopped on 77 and just floored it. And I was hauling the mail, and then the truck shut down. No oil pressure. It would not fire up. I got it fired up, limped it to the house, and then this is what I found. I think the truck had 4,600 miles on it, 4,500 miles, something like that, and it was just a catastrophic failure. And man, I'll tell you, my heart was broken. All my dreams went out the window. This thing was just, why is it stuck on that one picture? Okay. I don't know, is that a crank throw? No, that's the oil pan, I guess. Yeah, this thing was, every rod bearing had spun, all the mains were destroyed. I'm talking catastrophic failure. And I was depressed. And I told my wife, well, I don't have a choice. All I can do is rebuild this thing, go back through it. So that's what I did. I pulled the engine. I went all the way through it and went back to the same machine shop. And I rebuilt it. And this time, now, I used to drink a lot of beer. I used to drink a lot. And I think that really influenced what I was doing. I've since stopped drinking for years now, but I think that my alcohol and my judgment calls were bad at the time, because the second motor, I just tossed this thing together as well. I didn't measure a single thing, and come to find out, the crankshaft that I got from the machine shop had been turned 10 under, and I ordered all standard bearings. I tossed the thing together. The very first drive, I work about 35 miles away from my house. The very first drive, the truck started knocking. And I pulled it up to the house, and I told my wife, that's it. I can't do this a second time. And it would have been a simple fix. This is the first time I don't know how that got out of sequence. No, that's the second time, me snatching the motor out of it. Yep. I put it back together on Christmas Day. Put the engine back in it, got it fired up on Christmas Day. My neighbors that live next to me, I feel so bad for them, because I was always out there drinking and working on junk and revving up junk, and they were the best neighbors I've ever had, but I didn't intentionally make it miserable for them. I was just a thoughtless person at the time. But so there's the truck. The AC never did work on it, but these pictures are the pictures that I posted on Facebook to sell it. And man, I had so much money tied up into this thing, and what I ended up doing was trading it to a guy for a paint job on the Civic, and turned out okay. The Civic, it's still one color and it's still kind of shiny. So yeah, it wasn't the best decision making on that side either. Hindsight being 2020, I should have just kept the stupid thing, because now here we are, years later, and I've got the truck again. It's a good looking truck. Even back then, it's a good looking truck. Boy, the hood sure did age in that amount of time, but yeah, so I posted it for sale, and I had almost 0 hits on it. I think this is in 2019. And I don't know, maybe the market wasn't booming or something, but I think I'd only listed it for 5,000, maybe 5,000. It was crazy, and nobody wanted it. Even with all this stuff it had done to it, I ended up taking the gauges out of it. I did do that. And I ended up putting them in the gold truck I had and sold the gauges and stuff. But I got the same exact set of gauges now back in the green truck. So these are just yeah, it had a 4R70W. I forgot about that. It had a 4R70W in that truck. I love that. That transmission's awesome. I wanted a stick this time around. It worked well, but there's always some junk in the bed of that thing. But that's at my old house there. Truck was looking good. I've always we got 75 cars for some reason. And then here she is, going off to her new home. And I thought this was the greatest day of my life. There she is. That's the last picture I had of her from 2019. Okay, so at this point in the story, I sold the truck. I was done with it. I felt good about my decision. I love working on stuff. I've always loved turning wrenches. But I started kind of late in life. I started when I was 18. I went to Nashville Auto Diesel College. But this 2 catastrophic failures back to back, I mean, it killed me. I felt like such a failure. I talked to several people, trying to find some kind of answer to why it failed or what happened. And honestly, I mean, and I'll admit this, I'm not afraid to admit this. It was my fault ultimately because I really did not check anything. But there's so many guys that I know that are, I mean, next level mechanics that are so freaking good and have had so many successes, and they never check anything. I got several buddies that I'll just toss this together and this thing will make a million horsepower and never fail. And I don't know. I'm just not that guy. I have to physically verify everything. But those failures, man, they really bothered me. So this truck, I always feel like this is the one that got away that I had so many issues out of, and I really wanted another shot at it. So I started looking for it. I contacted somebody. I found the truck. I went through and talked to my wife about it, and she's always supportive of what I do. She really, do whatever you want to do, So I went and found the truck, talked to the guy. He had no interest in it. It had been sitting basically in the same condition it was when I sold it to him. They basically wanted the motor, and that's all they wanted was the powertrain, the engine, the transmission, and the controller. They took the drive shaft out of it. They took the nice seat. They could take anything they want, doesn't bother me. But the truck still had a bunch of really nice stuff. It had the DJI drop beams. It had a brand new set of tires on it. The floorboard repairs that I did, all of that stuff was still on the truck. It had a new windshield, new window regulators, new rubbers. So the truck still had a whole lot of value to me in it versus starting with another one that you'd have to go through and do all those basic things. All new brakes, they were all new, everything worked, minus the master cylinder, which that ain't no problem. But anyway, so that's where I'm at with the story, and then now we'll get into where it was when I found it, and pick up from there. So here's the truck on a fence line. It's been sitting. It smelled like crap. I mean, it had a dead bird in it, but it was basically in good shape. I was pretty excited to get it back. It has literally just been setting since they pulled the motor. No motor, no transmission. They cut the wiring harness all up, took the master cylinder off, but there's the radiator. Boy, I was excited about that radiator. And here come the old silver truck. Gonna load him up, put him on the trailer. Man, I can't tell you how excited I was to get this thing back for some reason. I like this truck. I've always liked this truck since day one. Setting up there, looking good. And it was just in Lake City. It wasn't too far away from where we live. Headed back to Manila. And at this point, I had the gold truck too. So Back him up to the old shop. Bed looks good. There's a gold truck right there. You can see it in the corner. Cleaned up. Truck cleaned up really good. I'd polished this thing back in 19 or 18, whatever. So it's still shiny. Still look good. So I had the truck back, but I didn't have any real plans with it. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do like a 460 big block and an automatic, or if I kind of knew I always wanted to do a 5-speed transmission. I just love manual transmissions. So I was trying to decide what to do with it going back and forth, and I ran up on a deal with a buddy of mine, Kevin, that I had the chance to get the original engine out of the Mustang, which was a 331 that me and my brother built some years ago for a turbo setup for his. Oh, I just got to listen to this. The cam in the gold truck, it was just a thumper cam. Man, it sounded good. I definitely miss that truck. I never really pulled with it. I just did this to kind of move the green truck around. I just thought it was cool. That's a good sounding truck. But anyhow, here's the engine. It's 331. Steve Heath did all the machine work. One of the last engines I think he did or something. Felpro head gasket, which that got changed out later on. But ARP head studs, and it's got Pro Top Line heads, probe pistons, TCI rattler, and I've got the Edelbrock ProFlow intake on it. Edelbrock ProFlow distributor. So I took the front cap off because I knew I was going to have to mock up for a turbo, and I wanted to clean up a bunch of this stuff that I had never done this. It's a luxury of the shop. I mean, you can do stuff like this. You can do it anywhere. You don't have to have a shop, but man, it makes it nice because you can work day or night, rain or shine. Tearing it down, and I painted the front part of the frame. I mean, it's not a restore. I was just doing this in between. Got there's the old transmission that got destroyed. That's what it looked like before. More marking up pictures of the engine. Got the valve covers on it. Dude's looking sharp. Yeah, I mean, so these are all the Mustang accessories. These are all the original accessories off of my Mustang, which is kind of cool. You know, I've still got the Mustang in the shop here. You can probably see it in some of the shots. But I don't know what's significant about that. There's a clutch that I ended up smoking. That's an O'Reilly's Power Torque clutch. Pressure plate. So getting ready to stab it in. Old stock water pump. All those, I got those bolts from LMR. Man, that's a nice setup. It's all ARP accessory bolts. Every single bolt is an ARP bolt. And it's the right length and the right size to fit all the Mustang accessories. I really wanted to use that power steering bracket, but unfortunately it didn't work with my turbo headers that I got. But that's fine. So here we go. We're going to stab him in there, getting ready, get him lined up. Oh yeah, big boy. Yeah, looking good in there. Mocking it up, making sure everything's right. I think I gotta do some more wigglings on that because I think my transmission is down too far in the back, so that's for another time. Got the old new booster and master cylinder. Now this tank come from Tanks Incorporated. It's a 19-gallon, but it's all set up for EFI. Oh, I decided to paint the doors. My buddy Scott Wilson, he come over. He had a spray gun. And we did a lot of prep work. But I hate paint. I'm not any good at body work. You've seen my other videos. But so this is what I did. I thought, well, yeah, this should be cool to paint this in here. I'll just tape off some stuff. The old dash, getting the old dash mocked up, sanded, painted. It turned out pretty nice. Everything ended up looking real good. More prep work. Yep, got the... I could not believe how much overspray there was in the shop. It was unreal. But I don't paint, so I had no idea. I thought, we'll be all right. He said, it's going to go everywhere, buddy. And, of course, like always, I don't listen to nothing nobody tells me. So I said, oh, these little rattle cans, it ain't going nowhere. But like a full on spraying, it went everywhere. It was pretty bad. But there's the door, getting the door prepped, door jams. My goal was we'd open the door, the truck to look really nice on the inside. And I mean, I think I achieved that. It's pretty good. I still need to redo the dash and the door panels, the original panels. They're pretty. Okay, got that motor cleaned up. There's Mr. Scott mixing up the paint, making everything nice. We got everything laid out. We did this in here. I don't know if we had any fans running, boy. I don't know how he survived in there. I about got choked out. Wanted to paint all the firewall and everything and make that look nice. There's the dash. Dash looking good, looking sharp. Got that all painted up. Oh yeah, very nice. Super sharp. I think I just hung that dash. I'm in a hurry to do everything. I can't never wait for nothing. That's the plate for the Vintage Air. That Vintage Air kit, it turned out really nice. Look at that. First time outside in some, not very long. But it's looking good, boy. Heck yeah. All that looked really nice. Now there's turbo setup. Here we go. Now this is a stainless headers manufacturing kit. I had to take the power steering off. But these headers have the big 2-inch spacing for like the big boy heads on small block Fords, and that 2-inch spacing makes all the difference in the world. It is unreal how easy it is to access the spark plugs. Even on the passenger side there, where the actual turbo is, it's still not an issue. All right, now Vintage Air, Vintage Air is an awesome company to deal with. They make a jam up product, and they are super helpful. I mean, just a great group of guys. Anytime I've ever dealt with them, they pieced together a 79 to 70 or 73 to 79 F100 kit for the evaporator. Oh, here's a seat. $40 at a U-Pull-It. That was $40 at a U-Pull-It, and it had mold on it. It looked terrible. Here's me cleaning it up. I couldn't find anything to clean it. Then I got this mold spray. Some guys on a Facebook page recommended to me. Bam! Look at that thing. Looks brand new. I couldn't believe it. But going back to what Vintage Air, here we go, mocking up the motor. They pieced me together, so a 73 to 79 evaporator and all that kit, and then they got me a 87 to 93 Mustang Fox body compressor, some custom hoses, and everything for the brackets to work. They're awesome, man. They are really, really good. So here we go. I'm trying to figure out how to pipe up my wastegate to my turbo. I'd never done anything like this, but I like to party, so. Oh, there's a hater pipe in that old picture. Here goes Scott. He's going to paint these wheels, make these wheels look nice. Here's a door. He had a tiny little smudge. He wanted to repaint the whole door. Hey, man, looks good. He did a good job. Painting them wheels, he did good on that. Oh yeah. Dang, look at them wheels. Looking sharp. This is the first 90-degree cut I've ever made in my life. I had to send that to Jack. So I made a 90-degree cut. I'm 43 years old. 42, something like that. Here's the old downpipe I put in. Now I built all this. It was pretty easy. I just mocked it up, just kind of made a cut and kind of pieced together what I thought would work. Tacked it, and then I welded it out. And it fit really good. I was really happy with it. Easy to get on, easy to get off. So if you got to do anything, which I've had that thing off probably 4 times already. I don't know if it's in here or not, but you'll see later on. I had some issues with the intake didn't seal worth of crap, and I had to pull the intake, and then I had to I ended up ultimately having to pull the cylinder heads. Boy, it was a pain in my butt. Oh yeah, looking sharp. Getting ready to make some power. Yeah. That's a good looking weld. I ain't no welder, but that's a pretty good looking weld. That's a pretty good looking weld too. That may be the same weld. I'm not real sure. Now I wrapped the pipe. I went ahead and painted it in high temp black spray paint, and then I wrapped the pipe. Chucking them spark plug wires at it. They end up not looking good. I set the front cap on. I found today that there's a bolt that's still loose on the core support that I never did tighten. So when I get done making this video, I need to go back and tighten that core support bolt. Because yeah, I did not do that. But that thing's looking good. I think I pulled it out. I probably pulled the engine out. This is all mocked up. Got my new vintage gauges in there. Another awesome company to deal with. Which this time around on the gauges, they do some weird stuff that I've never had new vintage gauges do before. So still a great company to deal with. There's the fuel pressure gauge. I set all that up. It's a good looking truck. That's a handsome boy right there. So I'm getting closer and closer to driving it at this point. I still got to, do the radiator and all that, get all that lined out, hoses. And I just had to make some hoses. I got right there at driving and I had to rob some more parts off the Mustang. That's a good looking wheel right there. I like it. That's nice. Very nice. So after I ran it for a while, I also ran into another issue. Oh, I forgot about this. Alright, so here's this Ron Francis wiring harness. Nothing but good reviews from everybody. I personally did not care for this kit. It was confusing to me. It was very simple, very easy to use, but my brain doesn't work that way. This is the fuse panel. It's okay. I wish I would have gone a different route. If you ask me, the Speedway wiring harness is a quarter of the price. You can have it in 2 days, and it works just as well. It's easier to manage to me too. Here's wiring. I suck at wiring. I can get by. I can figure it out. I know how to do it. I'm not a fan of it. But the Ron Francis kit was just, I don't know. It got such good reviews. The connectors to me seemed kind of cheap. The instructions were kind of cheap. And it was like literally 4 times the cost of like a Speedway universal wiring kit. And the Speedway universal ones, I put one on the gold one. Easy as pie. This thing confused me from one step to the last step. Here's mocking up the intercooler. I couldn't figure out where I wanted to go, but I knew I wanted to daily drive this thing, and I knew I didn't want any airflow impeding the connector. Oh, here's the first start. Maybe the second start. Keep cruising along. Had some issues. Boy, it's a good looking truck. So that's probably a double picture right there. But we're moving along. Here's the infamous rear main. I had this out because I had the breathers blocked, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. And what I did here, I don't recommend. It wasn't the rear main from what I could tell. It was this stupid, cheap Speedway oil pan that I just globbed a bunch of stuff on. But whatever. I went ahead and my buddy wanted me to run it naturally aspirated for a little while, get the rings broke in and get everything going before we did the turbo. So that's why I was driving it off and on, and then I was piddling, and now I'm starting to put the turbo kit on it, the intercooler, fit the pipes up. It's all from VS Racing. Cheap stuff, but it seemed to be pretty good quality. I mean, I liked all of it. And I had a bugger of a time trying to fit that pipe in there. I didn't know what I was doing. But I just kept hogging away material until I made it fit. Going a little bit of time. I took them orange clamps off the heater hoses. They looked ugly and they didn't hold up to the temperature. But they were cool. They were a neat idea to separate the hoses and I was trying to clean everything up a little bit. But here we go with the intercooler piping. That's looking pretty good. I'd like to rework that again. And this is how I ran it for a while. I just jammed a filter on the end of it. So the turbo was hot and everything was working. But it was basically naturally aspirated set up. It ran. It ain't never ran. The drivability is unreal, this thing. That thing just purrs. So smooth. I don't have anything bad to say about that Pro Flow. That Pro Flow is just so freaking good. Zero complaints out of it. It's light years ahead of that TBI system that I had before this. So I like it, man. They've got a crisp bottle, very smooth. And at some point, I think it's coming up, I'll show you, I started fighting these, kept burning oil, and I couldn't figure out where the oil was going, and I wasn't making very much vacuum either. And then that led to intake gaskets, and the very first set that I put on there was this. This was the Edelbrock gasket. And I don't know why, but it leaked. Well, I do know why now. But truck's just looking good sitting in the shop. I just keep snapping pictures. All the intercooler pipes put on, looking good. I decided to do that. Then we ran into this. Okay, leak after leak after leak. And I put, I think, 2-3 different sets of gaskets on there like a dum-dum. Just kept thinking I was rushing. I was getting in a hurry. I wasn't doing a good job. And finally, I figured out that the manifold did not fit the cylinder heads. It was off by like, I can't tell you a number now because I don't, you can see right there, look how bad off that is. And it was just sucking oil from the bottom of the intake port. That's just a random picture of the, oh, I was trying to remember how to put it together because I had to take the cylinder head back off. And I found a leaking intake valve, which my buddy John, he got that lined out, got the intake valve seated, looking good. And I thought everything was good, and then I decided to pull both cylinder heads. My buddy John reworked the intake. He machined some off of it so the ports lined up better. Went ahead and looked at both heads. And I went ahead and put my Cometic gaskets on, more parts stolen from the Mustang. Put the Cometic cylinder head gaskets on there. They're better for boost anyways than them old Fel-Pros were. Cleaned up. Looking good. Now, this thing's got, I don't know, a couple 100 miles on it, and here I am tearing into it again. But, gotta do what you gotta do. Everything's looking good, looking sharp. Just a bunch of pictures of the engine. Finally, I got it worked out, put the cylinder heads back on. But, one good thing about this is I really wanted this thing to be easy to work on, and it's super easy to work on. You can toss this thing together super quick, and I know it helps having the big engine bay. First trip, out to the old salvage yard, weight 4,500 pounds on that rig. I could not believe that, 4,500 pounds. And then, just some pictures of it running. So then I'm driving it everywhere, having a good time with it. It's loving life after I got the vacuum leaks fixed, and finally off to work. Hey, if you stuck with me this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Time got away from me. I'll try to put out a video this week sometime of a whole walk around the truck of the current situation. It's pretty current right now how the video ended. I'm driving it every day. But I just kind of wanted to wrap this up. This video left long, it's going just on and on and on. If you speak to anybody that knows me personally though, and if somebody says, hey, I like that truck you got there, just know that you're in it. You're in it for minimum 5 minutes, possibly longer, because I can just go on and on all day talking about old trucks. But so, thank you to everybody that's stuck with me so far. I'm going to finish the video. I'm going to put something out. But this is just, it's like 40 something minutes long already. So, and I did edit it. I've got way more pictures and I've got way more information. And if y'all have any questions, drop me a comment and I'll definitely reply to it. If y'all want more information on this component or that component or how I did something or why I did something, man, just shoot me a comment down there and I'll reply to it. I love talking about this stuff. And if I can help anybody in any way, just let me know. Lord knows I've made all the mistakes. Well, not all of them, but I've made most of the mistakes that you could possibly make on any project. I got a couple key buddies that, the second something goes wrong with this rig, I'm calling somebody, hey man, you ever ran into this? You ever seen this? You ever seen that? But, I got buddies that do that to me too. So it's the same way, man. It's, I love the car community. It's the best community in the world. So anyhow, I'm going to cut it short because here I am rapping, going on again. So I'm going to cut it short. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I'll put out the next video as soon as I can. Thank y'all very much. Later.